Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Jana. Nina. Hi, you guys. Y'all popping in really quick. Just as I thought we were going to get a rain-free day, it started raining. Good morning. I've been loving your pictures from Colorado, although they make me a little homesick. Good morning, good morning. Hey, look, it's still raining. We had about 5 minutes of sun. If I ever had any doubts that I could live in the Pacific Northwest, those doubts are all resolved. Because although I'm a little like, okay. No, Sarah's been posting pictures of Colorado. She's there now traveling. So she had pictures from the Springs yesterday, which I feel crazy that I never made it down to Garden of the Gods, and I lived in Colorado for 25 years. Crazy pants. Does anybody already follow MikeDooley? Yeah, and the altitude. Drink a lot of water. Yeah, 5 minutes of sun. What? I know. Shameful. I'm ashamed of myself, actually. Every time I went to go, something got in the way. So, I guess we're going to call Course in Miracles Day quits till January 1st. Because I haven't been doing it for various reasons. I don't have the book, and then yesterday was a power outage disaster. That's terrible. Now I'm doubly ashamed. So anyone on the web or new, now I am redeemed. My name is Michelle Wolf, and you can find me at caddyshackdesigns.com. Whoops, there's the website. Across the top are tabs that tell you everything that I do, and everything is meant to raise your happiness threshold. Hello. Good morning. So we're here every day, and we talk about taking apart our beliefs about the world and life and how we move through it, and increasing our authenticity, understanding our connection to Source, and how to strengthen that, basically. Thank you. CaddyshackDesigns.com. I wanted to read you something that I got in my email today from MikeDooley to start us out today. He has you can get a 5-day-a-week notes from the universe thing from him, which is, some of them are super good. I thought today's was good. I have my laptop though, so I keep looking away. So the one I got today says, courageous is the soul who adventures into time and space to learn of their divinity. For while they cannot lose, they can think they have, and the loss will seem intolerable. Let me see if I can get this so I'm not turning away from the thing. Okay, for while they cannot lose, they can think they have, and the loss will seem intolerable. And while they cannot fail, they can think they have, and the pain will seem unbearable. And while they cannot ever be less than they truly are, powerful, eternal, and loved, they can think they are, and all hope will seem lost. And therein lies the test. A test of perceptions, of what to focus on, of what to believe in spite of all appearances. You are divine, signed the universe. It's the universe at Tut. It's tut.com, TUT.com. You can go over there and sign up for, let me just make sure that's the right website. You can go over there and sign up for these daily emails that are nice to start the morning with. MikeDooley. Yes, TUT.com, tut.com. Also, I pulled a couple of cards for us before I got on here. I'll read those to you. And then let's get going on our Tao Te Ching stuff. Which traveling can really put you to the test on rolling with the flow and being adaptable and flexible. Hey there, everybody. Good morning. Okay, we'll start here. Tao Te Ching, translation, Ursula Le Guin. I have to go to the mailbox earlier because there's a surprise in there. Earlier. I have to go to the mailbox later when we're done here. I have a surprise waiting for me. Today's chapter 27, and it's called Skill in this translation. Good walkers leave no track. Good talkers don't stammer. Oh, love surprises. I love surprises. It was Linda that sent me this surprise. I thought you sent the journal for that I'm busily stuffing with pictures. Okay, good walkers leave no track. Good talkers don't stammer. Good counters don't use their fingers. Whoops. The best doors unlocked and unopened. The best knots not in a rope and can't be untied. So wise souls are good at caring for people, never turning their back on anyone, even if they're Muslim. They're good at looking after things, never turning their back on anything. There's a light hidden here. Wise souls are good at caring for people, never turning their back on anyone. They're good at looking after things, never turning their back on anything. There's a light hidden here. That's lovely. Oh, there's another verse. Sometimes there's such a gap. Good people teach people who aren't good yet. The less good are the makings of the good. Anyone who doesn't respect a teacher or cherish a student may be clever, but has gone astray. There's a deep mystery here. Her notes say the hidden light and the deep mystery seem to be signals saying, think about this, about care for what seems unimportant. In a teacher's parental care for the insignificant student, and in a society's respect for mothers, teachers, and other obscure people who educate, there is indeed illumination and a profoundly human mystery. Having replaced instinct with language, society, and culture, we are the only species that depends on teaching and learning, and we aren't human without them. In them is true power, but are they the occupations of the rich and mighty? They should be, and sometimes they are not. So we can turn that to ourselves too and say wise souls are good at caring for themselves, never turning their back on themselves, never abandoning themselves to go off into flights of agony over nothing. They're good at looking after things inside and never turning their back on anything that's demanding of their attention. Hello, good to see you. There's light hidden there, for sure. And teaching people who aren't good yet is can be a challenge, but it's a real act of service and compassion. If you can talk to the people who are so far away from where you are, you offer them an opportunity. And if it's appropriate, they can take it. And it may not be appropriate for them. That's the part where we don't have any control. But we can offer. We can always offer. Periscope is an offering. So I don't know. Yeah, there's hope for something different. As long as we're breathing, there's hope. A lot of the kids I used to work with were multi-generational gang families. So Grandpa was an OG gangsta, Daddy was a gangsta, and now they're a gangsta. It's very hard to teach kids like that who don't see any other option. So a lot of our work was showing them that there was another way to live that did not involve being attached to a gang. Because they really, by the third and fourth generation in the gang family, hello, they had no concept of what it looked like to live life without being connected to the Serenos or whoever they happen to be connected to. Hello. Just a few minutes. I've just been on for a few minutes. So, teaching by example and just offering an option, an alternative, and what that looks like. You're perfect as always. So let's look at this. And we all survived the Christmas holiday season. So there's that. 27 in Stephen Mitchell's version. Hallelujah. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. That's the "are we there yet? Are we there yet?" syndrome. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants. A good scientist has freed himself of concepts and keeps his mind open to what is, not what he wants to see, what he is seeing, or she. Thus the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. Not wasting opportunities to talk to people. Making eye contact with people. And then if a conversation begins, understanding that often it's divinely ordered. And just rolling with that. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. A good man is a bad man's teacher, and a bad man is a good man's job, at least to offer. You can't go out and hammer on people and say, this is the right way to live, and so if you don't live this way, I'm going to reject you, because we don't know what each other's right way is. We don't know. We just offer. We just hold our hands out, hold our lives out as an offering. Yes. Please don't go hammer on people and tell them you know how they should live, because you don't. Just like we've talked about before, sometimes our worst mistakes bring us the greatest joy later once we're past them. Yeah. And we can use our mistakes to help other people feel better about their own mistakes if we own it and talk freely about it. We de-shamify it. The best way to de-shamify a situation is to own it. I was having this conversation with someone this morning. Own it. Own your bitchiness. Yes, I have to apologize to my husband today because I said like 3 crappy things to him in like an hour period. It's terrible. Oh, it was so bad. And then later I was like, good Lord, you just did the same thing to him that you bitch at him about all the time. And that he's actually getting better at. I don't know what got into me. I got a bug up my butt about something. So I just was like, I can't believe you left this jar on the counter again. Stupid stuff. Yeah, mirrors. If we own our own mistakes and our own frailties, we give other... What is the best book for understanding oneness? The book that I go back to and go back to and go back to is Martha Beck's How to Live in a Wild New World. I was just reading it again last night. She talks about wordlessness, oneness, the best way to use your imagination, and then forming, the best way to form things in the world in alignment with your oneness. That's one I just keep going back to. Oh, Martha Beck's book, How to Live in a Wild New World. It's actually laying right here, so I'll get the cover and you can screenshot it. Which is good because I gave you the wrong title anyway. It's Finding Your Way in a Wild New World, this one. Reclaim your true nature and create the life you want. She's funny. It's easy to read. Even if you don't understand a single thing about oneness, you can understand her writing. She also gives lots of exercises to help you experience it if you've never experienced it. I had this book for like 2 years and thought I was experiencing wordlessness and oneness. And then as time went on and I kept practicing, I realized that when I first started, I wasn't anywhere near there. Oh, good. This is good. She references some scientific basis for things. She references some research studies. She's a good blend of left brain, right brain for learning. Excellent book. Excellent. And she talks about the process that a lot of us go through of getting comfortable with this stuff that sounds absolutely crazy pants. Like pulling 2 cards that say basically the same thing out of different decks and seem to apply to our regular group. And if you showed up today, I'm sure they apply to you also. She helped me get a little more comfortable with claiming my gifts and letting people know about them. It's hard to be a science-minded, fact-based research thinker and then experience Reiki and getting information in your head about other people. I mean, the first thing you want to do is go get some sort of like antipsychotic medicine. Let's see, 1,000 Names for Joy. Corresponding chapter in our Byron Katie book, chapter 27. Okay, bye. Have a great day. Oh my God, I'm schizophrenic. I just heard something in my head. What the hell? Okay. How can I not be available to anyone who asks me for help? I love people just the way they are, whether they see themselves as saints or sinners. I know that each of us is beyond categories, unfathomable. We're beyond categories. Nothing is worse than being labeled as a New Ager or a woo-woo thinker or something which completely discounts that you might have some rational ability to evaluate things for yourself and come to a logical conclusion. It's not possible to reject people unless you believe your story about them. And really, I don't accept or reject. I welcome everyone with open arms. Okay, this doesn't mean that I condone the harm that people do or any form of unkindness. But no one is bad by nature. When someone harms another human being, it's because he or she is confused and lost. This is as true of ordinary people as of murderers and rapists that I work with in prisons. They've been protecting to the death the sacred, stressful thoughts that they believe. If I see a mother hitting her child, for example, I don't stand by and let it happen. And I don't lecture the mother. She is innocently acting from a belief system she hasn't questioned. So because she believes her stressful thoughts, the child is disrespectful, he's not listening, he shouldn't talk back to me, he shouldn't have done what he did, he needs to be forced into obeying, she has to strike out. It's very painful to be confused. When I see the mother, who is also me, hitting the child, who is also me, my way is to move to the mother because she's the cause of the problem. I might go say, "Can I help?" Or maybe, I know how painful it is to hit your own child. I've done that too. I've been there. Would you like to talk about it? Love doesn't stand by. It moves with the speed of clarity. It includes both the mother and the child. To help the mother work with her thoughts is also to help the child. And I know that ultimately, I'm not doing it for either of them. I'm doing it for myself, for my own sense of what's right. So activism becomes very personal. And in my experience, it's more effective with a clear mind and no agenda. That's what we've talked about when horrible things like school shootings and wars and bombings and things like that happen. If you're clear and focused, you know where to go. If there is a place for you to go. You know if you need to go to the site and offer direct help. You know if you need to sit down and spend 2 hours in meditation just holding that place in a state of love. You know if you need to go march with a sign on the steps of your city capital. But you won't know what to do if you're just acting out of your knee-jerk reaction of anger, and which is important to recognize. So get past the shock and the horror and the anger and then ask what is appropriate for me to do. Then you're acting with Source's agenda, your soul's agenda, not your personality's upsetness agenda. Because that generally just adds more fuel to the fire. I keep my commitments to people because they're commitments to me. They're my business. They have nothing to do with the other person. Several years ago, when I was in Cologne, a German friend of mine asked me to come to the hospice as quickly as possible as he was dying. And he said that his dearest wish was for me to hold his hand and look into his eyes as he died. Of course, I said, I'll come right away. It was about an hour's drive. Another German friend offered to be my driver, but his agenda was to do some errands in the city while I sat with the man who was dying. So when we got close to the hospice, he began to ask pedestrians for directions to where he wanted to go. I reminded him that I had a commitment to keep. He disregarded me and kept asking for directions. I tapped him on the shoulder, looked straight in his eyes, and very clearly said, "Please start the car. I need to go to the hospice now." He paid no attention. After 5 minutes or so, when he had gotten the directions, he drove on and dropped me off. I hurried to the door and knocked, and I was too late. Gerard had just died. I had the thought, I'm too late, and simultaneously a wordless, "Is it true?" rose up to meet it. I felt a warm inner smile. If I had believed I was too late, I might have felt sad, disappointed, angry at the driver, angry at myself for trusting him to get me there, and even devastated that I had let Gerard down at the moment of his death. But I am always sure that reality's timing is better than mine. I had done my best, and this was obviously the perfect moment for me to arrive, neither too early nor too late. I told the nuns I wanted to go to his room, and they led me there. I sat down beside him, and his eyes were wide open. He looked surprised. I held his hand, sat with him, and had a silent, wonderful visit. I love keeping my commitments. And that's all we can do, right? We do the best we can do, and then when things happen and they go awry, we can beat the hell out of ourselves about it. We can beat ourselves up, or we can understand that we did our best and reality interfered, and therefore we got there when we were supposed to get there. Beating herself up over that situation would do absolutely nothing, and I am pretty sure her friend wouldn't have wanted that anyway. A delay in travel may be the best gift you ever gotten. Someone rejecting you for a relationship might be saving you an enormous amount of pain and difficulty. You just don't know. That's the thing. Our personality, our little, human reality self just doesn't know, because we can't see all the pictures. We don't have the full perspective. Yeah, you set your intention, you do the best you can, and accept that when things don't go that way, They aren't supposed to. You just roll with it. Love is never going to attack you for not getting somewhere on time. Love is never going to tell you that you're bad. Love is never going to induce guilt in you. I should say shame. Sometimes we have guilt and it's appropriate if we make a mistake. Clean guilt is, wow, I really screwed up. What do I need to do to fix it? And we make amends and we go forward. Shame dirties that process up because then we just stay on it. And we actually end up making the people that we hurt take care of us instead, which is not healthy. We have to, for me, practice with oneness helps me remember that I don't know the whole story. Clean guilt. You make a mistake. So I'll use my snapping at my husband last night. It's a pretty minor example. But I said like 3 crappy things to him. Not horrible. I didn't call him a bastard or anything. I was just like, yeah, like sacred anger. Appropriate emotion comes in, has a solution, and it goes out. Maybe, if there's a solution needed. So I need to apologize to him today. He's painting the cabin right now. But, I don't need to beat myself up and say, oh my God, what a bitch you are. And why in the hell would you say stuff like that to him? I can say, wow, I got off track. I was thinking about other things. I saw a jar in the sink and I got pissed. Completely inappropriate. Because whose problem was the jar in the sink? Mine. He has this thing about where when he's done with a food product jar, instead of putting it in the trash, for some reason he puts it in the sink. Whose problem is that? It's my problem. It doesn't bother him, or he wouldn't put it there. So I just need to pick up the jar and put it in the garbage, which is right behind me, or the recycle if, whatever. So I don't need to go in and beat myself up for snapping at him like that. What I need to do is go apologize. Beating myself up doesn't give him an apology. And I need to sincerely apologize and not say, oh, sorry. I need to say, I don't know what I was thinking, but I snapped at you and it wasn't appropriate. And I'm sorry. I mean it. That's clean guilt. Something happens, you're like, you rein yourself in and you make amends if you can. Sometimes you can't. But if you can make amends, you should. I think. These are the cards I pulled today. I think everyone's been going through quite a lot of personal growth and changes in the last few weeks, months, years. Definitely. So I pulled from the Enchanted Map. My intention when I was shuffling was for whoever showed up today, whoever's viewing on the web, and whoever may view the replay. And here's the card I got, Dragon's Lair. See if I can get that tilted. Can you guys see that? Dragon's Lair, number 19. And it was upright. So what it says is, you have a remarkable internal warning system that lets you know when things are out of alignment. You're about to enter dangerous territory, so tread carefully and be aware of your surroundings. The path you're on now... Oh, good. The path you're on now is one that will challenge you to the core. So don't get scared about when it says dangerous territory. That can be a really good thing. Peril is also exciting and exhilarating, like the danger you feel before you enter a new relationship, knowing that you'll be changed forever. So the paths that we're on, as we're seeking more authentic expression in the world and more connection to oneness and connection to source, is dangerous in the way that I would say it's dangerous to our ego, because it's changing us in those ways. It's challenging us to express more of our authentic selves in all areas. A life lived fully isn't lived only in safety. A new experience is calling to you, one that will test your courage. Okay, just like today's reading from MikeDooley, we can get lost in illusion because we get scared. We don't have to do that. We can remember that even if we do something that turns out to be something we label as a mistake, it really isn't. A new experience is calling to you, one that will test your courage. The choice is yours, but there's greater value in risk-taking than remaining unchallenged. New territories are waiting to be discovered. So that's the first card I pulled. And then the second deck said pretty much the same thing. Well, it must be true for lots of us, because the same dang card came up in a different deck. So we have new adventures are calling us, time to take a risk, knowing it's going to change us forever, and being okay with that. So then what do I pull? Change. Isn't this pretty? I like the owl because owls to me are a reference to seeing fully, seeing through illusions. Which Roman goddess had an owl? Athena? Artemis? I don't remember. So beautiful. But to me, owls are seeing situations fully as they are. And so even though the wind is blowing, she has a protection. Athena had an owl on her blind side so that she could see in all directions. So the winds are blowing, and the winds of change, I'm guessing. Seeing through the darkness, yeah. Point out our blind spots. But she's protected, right? So the wind's blowing her and stuff, but she's got a wrap. She's created shelter from the wind. And the owl's in front of her so she can see clearly. That's how I interpret that card. And this is from this deck. Vintage Wisdom Oracle. I love it too. Her windswept shroud wrapped closely, a girl braces against a blustery gale. A daffodil tucked behind her ear symbolizes remembrance and optimism, new life, and the inevitable cycles of nature. Twilight fast approaches. Oh, missed it. Go away, troll. Twilight fast approaches as the last rays of the setting sun melt into a sultry rose hue. Oh, he's like, okay, bye. That's funny. Okay, now I'm totally off track. Twilight fast approaches as the last rays of the setting sun melt into a sultry rose hue. A canopy of tiny stars will soon illuminate the evening sky. Shepherds may well delight in such a sky, as it could portend a brighter day to follow. I think that's important. Things might look scary at the beginning, but a brighter day will follow. The tree will soon shed its leaves, and the upturned roots suggest it has already endured many changes. An owl wisely observing the scene from the barren shelter of its boughs waits for the winds to pass. I'm having such a hard time seeing this. It's getting darker out here. The presence of this card signals change on the horizon. Didn't we just read that? Like the falling leaves and twilight sky depicted, a cycle has reached its natural conclusion. Nature reveals that the only constant in life is change itself. By wisely accepting and embracing change, you allow the old to gracefully pass in order to make way for the new, which is also interesting given the time of year, right? So our darkest time has just passed. Hi, kitty. So we are welcoming back more and more daylight. If you cling too tightly to the past, let's see. If change is needed, you can delight in the adventure of a new phase. Sometimes fear is actually excitement. And sometimes we need to ask ourselves, am I really afraid? Or am I kind of excited that something new is coming? If you cling too tightly to the past and carry attachments that no longer serve your highest good, tests may arise. Better to let go of everything than to have it snatched out of your hands. I think we may have all had that experience when we knew it was time to open our hands and let something or someone go, and we didn't, and then things can get ugly. Hold all of your life really lightly. Like, it can go at any time, and understand that that can happen, and hold on to it loosely. Hold things loosely. Change always comes bearing new gifts, but they may or may not be what you imagined. So if you have an attachment to a certain form that you decide that you want to see happen, it's probably going to show up in essence the same, but the form may be, most likely will be, entirely different from what you're imagining it to be. Sometimes we get so lost in the perception that this isn't what I asked for because the form doesn't look like we expected it to, that we miss the fact that it's actually everything we asked for and then some if we look beyond the surface and feel out the essence of it. So a new job may come out of nowhere and doesn't look like what you were asking for, but feel if the essence matches what you were looking for. If there's resonance there, don't get too hung up on what things look like. At times we are powerless to effect change because it's the very nature of life itself. Faith is part of the ballast that stabilizes us against unpredictable twists and turns in life and helps us adapt to unforeseen challenges. So having daily practice where you are centered and at peace and connected to that oneness state helps you stay stable when life starts shifting and changing and twisting and moving. You are at least once a day connected to source, so you can stay there longer and you can get back there faster if something happens that knocks you off kilter. Daily practice of connecting to source to me is the same as weightlifting. You wouldn't ever, you wouldn't not lift weights and then go try and bench press 350 pounds. You would have to work up to it, or you would really, really screw yourself up. So, practicing faith and connecting to source and God or love or whatever you want to call that on a daily basis means that when you need it, it's there for you. It's familiar and it's strong. Your skills are strong. It's a skill set just like any other. Oh, the trash guy's here. That's exciting. You are always free to choose how best to handle change, but by seeking out the relevant wisdom it brings, you venture forward joyously with hope in your heart and a spring in your stride, rather than hesitant trepidation or anxiety. It's going to happen anyway. Change is going to happen anyway. We might as well meet it wholeheartedly with our eyes open and our willingness intact. Oh, bummer. Hopefully the replay won't be junky for you if you have time to watch it. I'm so sorry. I hope that's not on my side. Sometimes it is with our sketchy service out here. We live in the middle of nowhere. That's all I have for you today. Oh, I noticed it just froze up. It may be my signal fluctuating. My apologies. So, clearly change is happening for lots and lots of people. And new things are coming along with a new year. And the best prayer I have for that is let what wants to come, come. Let what wants to go, go. Good, I'm glad. I'm really glad. Change me into someone who can let what wants to go, go. Change me into someone that can allow in what wants to come in. Let me let it go. Let me let it in. You're very welcome, Christy. Very welcome. Glad you were here. So, there you have it. Build your skill set of oneness. It's raining again. Surprise! It's raining! Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I gotta run into town before our water level comes up again and I can't get out because we are running slightly low on the supplies. Here's the thing. We're almost out of butter. Me too. I'm looking forward to changes. We cannot run out of butter. We can run out of everything else, but we are not running out of butter. It's starting to pour. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to run into town, and hopefully I can get back in to the valley. Wish me luck. They're good. They look gross, but they're good. Bye. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.